Hi there, today we're going to have a look at writing introductions to critical essays at National 5 level. And we're going to have a look at several examples using Macbeth as our text, which is a common text at both National 5 and at higher level. And I want to recommend to you today a strategy for writing introductions that will help you when you are feeling under pressure in the exam room, when you know that you need to get started because you've only got 45 minutes to write and you just need to put pen to paper. You don't want to have to do a tremendous amount of thinking in that moment. You want a structure that you can revise and learn and lean into at that moment when you are under most pressure, and that is what we're going to be looking at today. So to give you a look at where we're going, I'm going to recommend a 3-sentence introduction to you. So the first sentence is simply going to make sure that we state the author of the text that you've studied, the name of the text that you've studied, and we're going to make sure that we are directly answering the question, particularly that first sentence of the question that is so important to tell your marker that you are serious about engaging with the task that you have chosen. The second thing that we're going to be doing, the second sentence, is just a 1-sentence plot summary of the text. And of course, because the text is not going to change depending on what question you pick, that is a sentence that doesn't have to change dependent upon the question that you pick. So you can learn a 1-sentence plot summary that's been redrafted a few times and checked by your teacher, and so you can have a really nicely crafted sentence for that second sentence of your essay and give a good impression. And then the third sentence is really, really important. Basically, any essay, any critical essay that you write at National 5 and at a higher level, one of the key things that you have to do is connect the aspect of the text that you've been asked to look at. So that could be the main character or a key scene. If you can connect that aspect of the text to the central concerns of the text, the central theme of the text, then you will go a long way to writing a successful essay. So we want to show that we can do that and that we're going to do that. So we're going to establish that thread that we're going to run all the way through our essay right in the introduction using that third sentence. So these are the 3 sentences, and you're about to see, you can use them no matter what a question comes up in the exam. Okay, so let's have a look at this is a question that was asked in 2016, and basically, I'm sure you've realised this, but there are 3 basic types of questions that you get asked in the drama section for National 5. One is basically character questions. Another is a key scene question, and another is a theme question. These are the 3 big areas that you can be asked about. And so we're going to have a look at all the different examples, all the different possibilities, and we'll see this in a 3-sentence structure working in all these different types of questions. This is from 2016. Choose a play which explores an important relationship. For example, husband and wife, leader and follower, parent and child, or any other relationship. Describe this relationship and then, by referring to appropriate techniques, explain how this relationship develops. Now, I would actually say that is not an amazing question for Macbeth. A better character question would just ask you to focus on Macbeth himself, because Lady Macbeth, although she is a very important character in the play, she does drift out of it at certain points, so it's not totally straightforward. It's very much doable, but not totally straightforward. But nevertheless, what we can see here is the 3-sentence introduction working effectively. So the first sentence we can have a look at. Remember, we said that it was going to state the author, the title of the text, and answer that first sentence of the question directly. So Shakespeare's tragedy, Macbeth, there's our author and our title, explores the relationship between the eponymous character and his wife, Lady Macbeth. And there, that's looking directly at this key idea of a relationship. So I should just say that the word eponymous, great word to know if you're writing a critical essay at National 5 level. It just means that the character has the same name. as the text, as the play. So in this case, Macbeth is the name of the character and it's the name of the text. So that first sentence, what it shows you is that we're serious about answering the question. The second sentence, remember, is just a one-sentence plot summary. And of course, no matter what question you answer, it's always going to be the same. So you can learn it, redraft it, and make it sound really good. So here's my sentence. Set in a turbulent period in medieval Scotland, the play charts Macbeth's descent into barbarism, another good word to learn for Macbeth, similar to kind of brutality, following his decision to kill his king and seize the throne. Okay, so you see that one sentence plot summary, we don't get into any kind of depth, but we're really just kind of, it's almost like the blurb on the back of a book, in one sentence summarize what this text is all about. And then the third sentence, which we said was also really important because it does that really important thing of connecting the aspect of the play that you've been asked to look at with the central themes. So here, what we've been asked to look at is this idea of a relationship between important characters. And here we can see throughout the play, the relationship between Macbeth and his wife is crucial to Shakespeare's presentation of his central theme, the corrupting power of unchecked ambition. Now, that is my best way, I think, of expressing what the central concerns of Macbeth are. Of course, there are other themes in the plays, and a play as incredible as Macbeth, there are many, many themes and many, many different ideas explored. But what you need for an exam is a succinct way of expressing, some of the main theme or the main theme in a way that allows you it opens up the text, that allows you to talk about the various aspects of the text. And for me, with my kind of experience as an English teacher, I've come to feel that the corrupting power of unchecked ambition is the best way to express that. So 3 sentences, and you can see that sets you up for a great answer for this particular question. But does it work for other questions? Well, let's have a look at another character question. Choose a play in which an important character is in conflict with another character or characters in the play, or with herself or himself. Describe the conflict, and then by referring to appropriate techniques, go on to explain why the conflict is important to the development of the play as a whole. And that is from 2015 past paper. Well, again, the 3 sentences in operation. In Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth, the eponymous character, there it is, that phrase again, is in conflict with himself. So we've got the title, we've got the author, and we've also got a sense of engagement with that first sentence. So choose a play in which there's an important character is in conflict with other characters or with himself. Well, we've answered who the character is, it's Macbeth, and then what is the nature of the conflict? We're going to argue that he is primarily in conflict with himself. So we're set up to answer the question. Second sentence, again, it's a slightly different expression this time, but it's the same thing. It's a one-sentence plot summary of the play. Set in medieval Scotland, the play charts Macbeth's downward spiral from worthy gentleman to abhorred tyrant, ending in his death at the hands of an avenging army. There's our one-sentence plot summary. And then again, third sentence, remember, we're connecting the aspect of the play that we've been asked to look at to the central concerns. And here, it's this character who's in conflict. So throughout the play, Shakespeare's presentation of the conflict within Macbeth is crucial to his exploration of the central theme, the corrupting power of unchecked ambition. Again, we're set up for a good essay. One last example from character questions. Choose a play in which there is a character who is important in relation to the theme of the play. That's almost asking you what I've been saying, connecting the idea of character to the theme. The question even does that for you in 2014. Referring to appropriate techniques, explain how this character affects our understanding of this theme. Well, again, 3 sentences. First one, we're answering that question, that first sentence of the play. Sorry, first sentence of the question directly. So choose a play in which there's a character who's important to the relation in relation to the theme of the play. So what's the play, who wrote it, who's the character, and what's the theme? These are the crucial things that need to be defined in that first sentence. In Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth, the eponymous character is vitally important to revealing the theme of the corrupting power of unchecked ambition. There we are. It's all in that first sentence. We're serious about answering the question. Second sentence, again, slightly different expression here, but it's the same one-sentence plot summary set in medieval Scotland. The play follows the downward spiral of Macbeth as he commits regicide. Regicide is a really good word, by the way, to learn if you're writing on Macbeth. Regicide just means killing the king. Seizes the throne and repeatedly kills in order to maintain his position. And then our third sentence. Now, the third sentence is quite an interesting one for this particular introduction because we've already used our phrase that we've learned, corrupting power of unchecked ambition. So we kind of want another, just to kind of say the same thing again, but if you say exactly the same thing again, then perhaps it looks a little bit awkward in terms of the expression. So I've gone for, throughout the play, Shakespeare uses Macbeth's journey to explore his central concern of the devastating effects of an unrestrained desire for power, which is basically another way of saying the corrupting power of unchecked ambition. Okay, so it works for character questions. Does it work for theme questions? Well, the theme questions, you'll see that we just slightly tweak this three-sentence introduction to make it work for theme questions, but the same basic structure is going to work again. So that first sentence, just answering the question. So choose a play which explores an issue or theme which interests you. By referring to appropriate techniques, explain how this issue or theme is explored. So Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth explores the interesting theme directly from that first sentence of the corrupting power of unchecked ambition. Second sentence, again, we're just doing our one-sentence plot summary set in medieval Scotland. The play charts the downward spiral of the eponymous character from worthy gentleman to abhorred tyrant, ending in his death at the hands of an avenging army. Now, the third sentence is interesting here because the essay is asking us not to focus on something like character or key scene, but instead to actually focus on the theme. So normally, in questions at National 5 level, you're given character or key scene to focus on, and then your job is to connect that to the theme. But in this case, in this question, you're actually given the theme. And what you've got to do is connect it to another aspect of the play. Now, it should be an aspect of the play that you are ready to talk about, that you've learned, that you're happy to you know your quotes and you're happy to talk about. So all I'm doing here is instead of connecting character to theme, I'm connecting the theme to the character. But it's virtually going to be the same essay. And this third sentence, it still does the same. It just connects the central concerns to another aspect of the play, So throughout the play, Shakespeare explores his central theme through the bloody and brutal journey of his central character. So it works there, and again I'll show you in another key theme question. Choose a play where the playwright explores a theme or an issue of concern which you feel is important. By referring to appropriate techniques, show how effectively the playwright establishes and explores the theme or the issue of concern. So that first sentence, choose a play where the playwright explores a theme or an issue of concern which you feel is important. So what's the play, who's the playwright, and what's the theme that you think is important? So Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth explores the important theme of the corrupting power of unchecked ambition. There it is. Second sentence, exactly the same. It's that one-sentence plot summary. Set in medieval Scotland, the play charts the downward spiral of the eponymous character from worthy gentleman to abhorred tyrant, ending in his death at the hands of an avenging army. And then that third sentence, remember, we're connecting the theme to the character instead of the character or the key scene to the theme. We're just reversing the order. Throughout the play, Shakespeare explores his important theme through the bloody and brutal journey of the central character. Now, there is one other type of question that you can be asked in National 5. We've looked at character and we've looked at theme, and in the next video we're going to look very quickly at key scene questions, because that's another important category where we just need to make a little tweak to this three-sentence structure for introductions. It's going to help you to write a really good critical essay under the pressure of the exam room. So all the best with your studies this year. And thanks for watching. Take care.